Welcome to Piano Video Lessons, Year 1, Unit 6. Click the info card to come on over to PianoVideoLessons.com where you can find all of these lessons and the ebooks. The first page of Unit 6 has a practice sheet where you can keep track of your practicing throughout the unit. It also has a 40-piece challenge and repertoire list where you can keep track of all the pieces you're learning, and also a circle of fifths chart, which we'll be referring to frequently during the lessons. In today's lesson, we're going to be learning about key signatures and the key of F major. We're going to learn to play the F major scale. We're going to learn what F major looks like on the piano keys. And we're also going to learn the diatonic chords in the key of F and how to improvise in F major. This video is sponsored by my patrons at Patreon. You can click the info card to find out more. So let's talk a bit about key signatures. When we play a scale, we've been learning a lot about scales since Unit 4. We play a series of 8 tones. That's a major scale: do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And if we play a scale that's centered around the note F, we call it an F major scale. And if you remember, F major scale has a B flat. So every time we've been presented with something like this F major pentascale, we've had the flat written directly in the music with the note, enabling us to see that it's played as a black key. So just to remind you, a flat is a half step down from the written note. So if it says B with a flat in front of it, we go to the left 1 half step. That takes us to the black key right here. So instead of playing the note B, we replace it in our mind with this black key. And we can go ahead and practice this pentascale. And when you do this, you want to think about playing on the black key. I've given you a nice simple reading example here with even the letters written in just to get you warmed back up. But now what we're also going to do is we're going to refer to our chart, our circle of fifths chart, and we're going to see where we can find the F major. So this chart helps us to visualize how many flats or sharps are going to be in a scale. So we've already talked a little bit about C major, and we've agreed that there are no black keys. So at the very top of the chart is a scale with no sharps or flats. Now, moving one step to the left, we've gone from C down to F. It's called a circle of fifths because each new key, each new home key, is 5 notes away from the previous one. And so here we are on F. The key of F uses only 1 flat, and that one is B flat. If we were to go the other way to the key of G, we would go up a fifth from C, 5 notes, and we could play with only 1 sharp. That's F sharp. So we're going to talk more about the circle of fifths, but for now let's just circle F so that we know we have we're learning something today in the key of F. We're just going to set this aside, but we're going to be coming back to it repeatedly. So on this next page, we have written out the F major scale, and here's the flat written right at the beginning, and then written on this B flat as well. And you can see I've written it out here on the piano keys. And I've written out the fingering here as well underneath the notes. So you can go ahead and have a look at your sheets and practice along using these standard fingerings. You can use any finger you like. However, this standard fingering is helpful because it makes sure you don't play a thumb on a black key when running notes in a passage. That's just a little bit more comfortable. So as we look down the page here, we see another exercise, and this is the diatonic chords in the key of F. And we've talked a lot about these in our last unit on chords. And you can see that in this case, I've written them out on the music staff. But you can also see that there aren't any flats written on the notes. So I've just been telling you we're playing in the key of F, and F uses a B flat, but we're going to be now using the key signature at the beginning of the piece of music. And what that does is it collects up all of the flats for the whole line. It puts them at the beginning of the line. And in this case, the only flat we're going to need is B flat. And it's every single B on the entire piano would be played as a B flat. So to save writing and cluttering up the music with all of these flats on individual notes, they're just collected up at the beginning in the key signature. So this one is written on the third line because that's where B is in treble clef. And this one's written on the second line because that's where B is in bass clef. But that does not mean that these are the only two B flats. It's a general code for us to know that we will play every B as a flat. So here we can play through the diatonic chords in the key of F. And I'm playing B flats every time I have a B. So what you need to do is you need to visually decide where the B's are going to be. Now there's a B living here on this third line, so this one will be a B flat. Here's a third line note, also a B flat. If you need to review your notes, you could go back to the note speller. That's a great resource for practicing your notes. And I'll just put a link here in the info card. And there's also a B located up here on a high ledger line. And we haven't learned these notes yet, but we're going to learn them soon. But just trust me to know that this is a B. And then down here in the bass staff, we've got the same thing. We've got the 1 chord, the 2 chord. Now here's the second line, and there's that B. Then we move to A. Now here's that second line, that's B as well, so we have to play B flat. So I'm just going to slide my whole hand into the black zone here to play this B flat chord. And then I'm going to move to C, then I'll move to D on the bottom. Now when I move to this E on the bottom, you see there's a B up here, so I'm moving into black zone again so I can play my B flat. And it's fine to play a thumb on a black key when you're not running a scale passage, because it's not awkward at all. I just slide in. And then the last one here is back to F. Now, just so you can visually see that a little bit better, I have written on this sheet here on the next page, I've just colored in all of the B's, and they're dark blue here, and that way you can see where they are, so that you can see these are both on the third line. And this one's up in that space I told you, and then this one's on the second line from the bottom on the B line, and up on the space above the staff. So you can go ahead and practice your diatonic chords in the key of F, and you can bring them back down. But what I really want you to do is start to get comfortable playing in the key of F major. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to put a few little stickers here on the B flats. And if you can see these, that's great. I hope you can. What we're going to do is we're going to keep in mind that these notes are not, these are the notes we're going to target when we're headed in that area. But what we should do is not just know this exact scale, because that's nice, it's a drill, I can play it. But when I'm playing a piece of music, I'm not simply doing the scale notes, I'm also playing some other groupings of notes that involve the notes from the key of F. And they sound good because they have B flat in them. This is without B flat. Ooh, doesn't sound very good. The B flat makes everything sound good together. And what we're going to do then, you should practice your diatonic chords in the key of F. As I mentioned, this is your assignment. Practice this. Practice it broken. Practice it one hand at a time. And you can also then practice playing 5 notes that are in that chord position. Then move again. Then move again. And move again. Every time we move, we're making sure we keep our eye on the B. There's no B here. My highest note was A, and now there is a B. And then I have F again, and B is on the 4th note. So that just helps us understand how it feels to play in the key of F. And now we can do this little improvisation activity where we're going to play in the key of F, and we're going to play this little left-hand pattern. And so let's just play through this slowly together. And it just goes F, C, hold, 3. Now it says repeat. So I'm just going to play this a few times. So I have F, C, hold. And there's a repeat here. It doesn't just mean repeat once. This is an improvisation. You can repeat this as many times as you like. Then we can move to G. And it's just G, D. So it's just a fifth. It's the outside of my diatonic chord. G, D. Playing it up high here. G, D. And you can repeat this as many times as you like and then go back to F, C. And this again keeps repeating. And then on the next line, I've taken it down to the low F. And no repeat, move to the G. And no repeat, move up now to A with E. No repeat, move to the B flat. And then no repeat, move to the C. And then I can hop myself right up to F. And that's going to be the basis of my improvisation. So what I'm going to do now with my right hand is I'm just going to fill in with some very simple notes. I'm going to start with just a couple of slow notes in my right hand. So in the left, I'm going to play the first two notes here from this. And I'm just going to let the right hand do a little mimicking at first. It's just echoing. I'm just doing this. You can do whatever you like. So just simple, and then I started on B flat. So I'm keeping my right hand in this F pentascale position. Now I'm going to move to G minor. I'm just going to sit here for a little bit. And then I'll go back to F. There's no limit to how long you stay on each one. Now I'm going to go to that last line. I'm just playing over the notes of the pentascale. I'm just going to repeat this last F. And then I'll just finish. And that's how my improvisation sounded. But what I really want you to do with this lesson is start to understand how F major feels on the piano keys with both hands and get a feeling for what it's like to think and play in the key of F major. Because when we move to our piece of music, lullaby, we want to really know what notes we're aiming for and have that fully understood. So we can just focus on learning the piece and coordinating our hands and not think too hard about understanding the key structure for the piece. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you're keeping track of your progress on your practice sheet. If you haven't come on over to PianoVideoLessons.com, you should do that now so that you can get access to all of my free videos. And if you really enjoyed this lesson, I would love it if you would consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon. So join me in lesson 2, where we're going to learn to play the Brahms Lullaby in F major.